guys, welcome back to the open water. Today we're gonna explore how to avoid getting stuck behind swimmers that are slowing you down. Yes, drafting is very important, but not when the guys in front of you are making you go slower. So we're gonna explore some techniques on how to get out of that. Also, how to deal with guys that are annoying you and pushing you away from where you need to go. So let's check it out.
Draw your attention here to the highlighted areas. Here you can see swimmers that are literally trapped behind the people in front of them. Now if you're having a good draft, you want to stay right there, but if you feel that you are slowing down, you can see in the slow motion that there is plenty of space to move up. So let's talk about how you can zoom by these people with minimal use of energy. So in the images that you just saw with the people all crammed together, I guarantee you a lot of them were thinking, I've got no place to go, I'm trapped. Well, that's wrong. There's always a place to go in the open water. Even if the gap is that small, trust me, if you stick your hand in there to take a pull, you will be able to part the waters. And it's not swimming on top of people, it's not unethical, it's every man for himself when it comes to racing. We don't want to be smashing people down and pulling their legs and all that. I don't believe in that, but I do believe in trying to move up quickly and efficiently. So you ask, how do you do that? Well, I'll give you a good example of when I was racing in the ITU World Series London in 2015. It was one of my better swims at the ITU level, and there was an example where I was behind about 4 or 5 guys, and we were moving along at a pretty good clip. I felt that the pace was good. Alright, but I felt really good that day. I felt I could go even better. And I saw a little opening to the left of one of the guys. And what I did was I zoomed up to the feet, I took a pull, another strong pull, and tried to get on his hip. That soon opened and parted the way, just like I just spoke about, parted the water, so to speak, and I was able to get on his hip. And that's another area for drafting. You draft on the feet and you can draft on the hip. Well, once I was on the hip, I spent a few seconds there before I put another little surge in to kind of follow the slipstream and get to the front and find my hole. And before you know it, I was the guy in front and I had more feet in front of me to chase. Get on those feet, get in their slipstream, draft, and then keep doing this all the way through the swim. Open water swimming, you never want to let yourself get comfortable. Even when you're in a good drafting position, you want to constantly, within that pack, think about finding holes, zipping through, and sliding up. Now, I'm going to show you a little demonstration that I did with one of my swimmers, and how you should take that step of moving from the feet to the hip and so forth. Let's take a look. So here we're coming up upon an unsuspecting buddy of mine. We're going to imagine that he's not alone, that there's about 5 or 6 guys swimming side by side. I'm staying in his draft. For the sake of this example, I can't go to the left because it's too packed. On the right, I find a small hole, take a couple strong pulls, and now I'm coming up to his hip because there's a slipstream right there. I can catch my breath there before taking my next step to move forward to the front. In the open water, all kinds of things can happen, and it's important that you stay calm, have a more of a laid-back approach when it comes to things annoying you, because there's many things that can. There are certain things that you just have to deal with, and that is people touching your feet, brushing up against you. That's just normal in the open water. They're not trying to be mean, they're not trying to be annoying. That's just open water swimming. So it's good to remain chilled and calm there. But sometimes people cross the line. Let's talk about a few examples of when people cross the line and you just can't stand for that. When people actually grab your ankle or grab your leg and try to use it to pull themselves forward. Well, as soon as they start pulling you back and they start coming up, the classic technique is to immediately, their shoulder will be coming up here, is to use their shoulder as something to lift yourself up on. So it's like, no, 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 you just pulled me back, zooming back up, so I'm going to just push off of you and get forward. So this can actually, they're trying to use you to their advantage, but in the end, we get the better of them by using them to our advantage. And there's many things like this, guys, but for the most part, you need to just remain calm and accept the fact that people are going to be touching you, and don't let yourself get annoyed with it, because you're going to be wasting precious energy on things that don't really matter. Alright? But I want to talk about one thing now that really can be extremely annoying, and it will affect your swim big time. And that is when you see a buoy and you see a direct line to get there, but there is a swimmer on the inside of you, between you and that buoy, and they are swimming, maybe on accident because they don't know where they're going. They are pushing you away from where you need to go. Now, what do we do in this situation? Do we want to just dunk their head down and say, man, get out of the way? But there's actually a way, a quick, easy way to get straight to where you want to go without hurting the swimmer, and also with using minimal time on your part. So I'm going to show you an example of that with my unsuspecting buddy that we saw earlier. Watch what I do to him now. So what I'm about to show you is the stroke and roll strategy. My buddy has no idea I'm about to do this. Take a big stroke, roll right over the top, and I'm home free. X marks the spot of where I want to go. Now he looked up because he didn't know what was coming, but in a race, trust me, it won't slow him down. Let's take a closer look. Stroke, roll, and then my other arm is free to continue along my merry way. Home free, minimal energy, nobody's taking us away from where we want to go. To wrap things up, guys, remember, you don't have to feel frustrated, you don't have to feel annoyed, and when somebody's not treating you right, use these methods to get to the line quickly and effectively. We don't need anybody hindering us from our destination. With STS Presents, I'm Lukas Siska, and I'll see you in the next video.